Now what we're going to do is sew down those side seams and partially across the bottom so that we can close up this bag. So I said it's not my day today, and it's not because I thought I pressed record and I didn't. So what I have to show you is this. So this is what we're going to be doing. So all the way down one side, all the way to the bottom. It's a bit hard to see with the navy. And then about 2 inches in, and then we're going to stop there. We're going to repeat on the other side. So what things that I'm careful of when I'm doing this are when I'm lining up my fabric, I try to make sure that my interior and exterior line up pretty well there. And that makes for a much neater finish once you turn your bag around. So I did the whole thing, and then I realized there was no video. So I unpicked this side. So I'll sew this again to show you what I do. So we're going to sew from the bottom all the way down here and across here. I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance the whole way because we tapered our lining before when we were cutting the boxes out. We don't need to taper it or increase it at all in the lining to get that snug finish because we already took care of that when we trimmed the piece. When I get to that seam there, I'm just going to back stitch over that to give it a little bit more strength. So along here at 1/4 inch. Still some loose threads from where I unpicked the stitches. When I get close to the zipper here, I'm just going to pop my hump jumper in. If you don't have a hump jumper, you can use a piece of cardboard or something. It just helps you get past bulkier bits in your project. Continuing down the edge there. Stitch. Do about 2 inches across the bottom there. And then that will give us a good sized turning hole, which, as I said, will also be important if you're doing riveted D-ring connector. So there you have side bits all sewn. So the next thing to do is for us to box these bottom corners. When I am boxing the interior, I like to give it a good pull here. Let me slide that a bit out of the way. So I give my lining a good pull to really open it up and squish the seams together here. It's really kind of tricky to see on the navy. So squishing the seams together, butting them up against each other will give you a nice neat corner. And then flattening them, and you can see a nice straight edge along here, and that's where you're going to clip. Along here, and do the same thing on the other side. If you did want to do a regular style boxed bottom pouch, you would do the same method as this on your exterior. So instead of leaving the exterior as one solid piece and doing the exposed boxed bottom, you would cut the corners the same way as we did for the lining and follow the same steps as we're doing here. And that would give you a standard box bottom, not the exposed box bottom. So now I'm going to sew along here 1/4 inch and along here 1/4 inch. And that will be our interior boxed. So it'll tuck nicely into our exposed box bottom on the exterior. I like to go back and forth over that seam a couple of times just to reinforce it a bit. Repeat this on the other side. see that the bottom is boxed now. And then the next thing that we need to do is turn it. So that will be the next thing.